Destiny's 2's The Dawning celebrates the spirit of giving, baked goods, and good loot. But will this year's event be interesting enough for you to jump in? We have the details for you and we're starting right now. So let's get into it. It's that time of year again, The Dawning 2023. We're going to go over this week in Destiny. This is dated 12/7/2023. And it says here, this week in Destiny, we are feeling festive. It's that time of the year again. And The Dawning is right around the corner. So pull out those oven mitts, prep the oven, and get ready to bake the tastiest treats. And I'm really excited about that. And we're going to jump into this article. So this time of year, of course, is the spirit of giving. There's a lot of things that's happening around this time of year. But when it comes to Destiny, we also see a lot of new loot, weapons, maybe new perks, that comes out. So I'm really excited. And of course, Iron Banner is going to be ending that reset. So The Dawning 2023 is going to start on the 12th of December. So definitely look forward to that. So we're going to go over this article. I do have some things I want to go over with you guys. I have some things highlighted as well. So topics of this week, The Dawning preview. Show us your baking skills, which is interesting. Season of the Wish updates. Fireteam Finder beta is live. And if you guys have not checked out Fireteam Finder, essentially you can find teammates for different playlists, and that way you're not doing those activities alone. Now, the other thing that's interesting about that as well is depending on the teammates that you get, just be mindful that the skill set may not be matched with yours. So individuals are finding these rooms, or you're creating your own rooms, and then from there you're able to go into these events with people rather than going solo. Okay, so that's what's going on there. So The Dawning preview, The Dawning 2023 preview. The Dawning is back. Gather ingredients, bake some cookies with the holiday oven, and give them to your favorite characters for sweet rewards. Eva Levante is waiting for you at the tower, and that's going to start on the 12th of December. And cool graphic there as well. And Destiny always does a fantastic job with the graphics, so definitely appreciate this for sure, for all the work they are continuing to do by way of supporting this game, which we love. Okay, so next thing we have here is baking cookies. Gather ingredients and Dawning essence by defeating enemies and completing various activities and bounties. Once you have enough ingredients, you can combine them in Eva's Holiday Oven 2.1 to create yummy treats like garlic doodles, classic butter cookies, and more. Eva's Holiday Oven 2.0 can be located in your quest tab, okay, and is acquired from Eva Levante. You can gift these treats to characters across the system in exchange for rewards. Okay, so you have upgrades here. Mentioning this section as well. Purchase a variety of upgrades using Dawning Spirit, which you can get by completing event card challenges, activating boons of friendship, and delivering baked treats. Upgrades will last for the duration of the event and provide bonus event rewards. The ability to earn Dawning weapons with additional perks from Eva, increase power and utility for your status snowballs, weapon focusing that allows for targeted weapon drops. Now, my favorite weapon from The Dawning last year was the pulse rifle. I'm a major fan of pulse rifles in Destiny. Even when you look at a pulse rifle like the BXR Battler, which I believe is one of the best pulse rifles you can get by barely doing much by way of activities to acquire it. And I think is one that you should consider if whether you're new to Destiny or you've been playing Destiny for a while. The BXR Battler is a great pulse rifle to acquire. Okay, so here you have stasis snowballs. This year we updated the way snowballs are spawned. Eliminations using Dawning weapons or abilities will create a snowball spawn point where an enemy is defeated. So just be mindful of that. Very, very important. Okay. Another good graphic here. And here we also have a Dawning Memento. Now, what's interesting is we're just talking about the BXR Battler. This is a memento for that, which I think this, just appreciating what they've done with the anniversary event that they did with the crossover of Bungie and introduces BXR Battler, I think is still one of the most phenomenal weapons. There's a few pulse rifles, in my opinion, that stand out, and I'm sure you have yours as well. For me, it'll be Bygones, BXR Battler, Last Perdition, and we can go down the list of all the different pulse rifles that are amazing. But if you can get them with a good roll, with at least one that provides flinching to the enemy, right? With which I believe that's high caliber rounds, you're going to be in good shape, especially if you're playing any mode, really, PvP, PvE, or anything like that. And this is definitely a dope pulse rifle to consider. It says here we also have a new memento this year, the Dawning Memento. Pick up the Winter Night Quest from Eva Levante for your chance to earn the Dawning Memento reward. Additional mementos can be acquired from opening a gift in return once the first memento is acquired. Okay, so definitely pay attention to that. Of course, new weapon here, new Dawning weapon, Albedo Wing. Okay, in addition, we have a new glaive this year. Now, I don't know if you're a fan of glaives. I have not really used them ever since they introduced them in Destiny. I don't know. I'm very particular about the weapons that I choose to use in the game. If there were a percentage, I think it would be ranked maybe pulse rifle, auto rifle, and then bow, and maybe like a LMG, you know, at number 4. But when it comes to glaive, I have not explored that yet. I'll say that you can acquire this weapon from event challenges, weapon focusing, or festive engrams, which can be purchased using a gift in return and Dawning Spirit. So we're going to take a look at it. You know, I'm not going to not give it its shine because it's not a weapon of choice, but definitely going to give it its shine. It looks really dope, and maybe I just need to explore it a little bit more to see if it's something that I'm going to appreciate. What do you think about the glaives? Are you a glaive user? Are you a bow person, pulse rifle person, auto rifle? Let us know in the comments. Definitely want to hear your thoughts on that. Okay, so this is Destiny's second hard-hitting aggressive glaive and can roll some of the new perks from this season. This one includes the very new, very cool Beacon Rounds perk, which is otherwise only found on rocket assisted sidearms, which is interesting. Okay, so we have the perks here, and we're going to talk about that. So here it says included below is a roundup of the notable weapon perks that appear on this year's Dawning weapons. We've updated all the existing Dawning weapons with new perks too. So that means if the pulse rifle is going to drop with these perks, I'm going to be excited for that. Okay, so we have Deconstruct here. It says dealing sustained damage grants bonus damage against vehicles and constructs and partially refills the magazine. That's pretty interesting. Damage with primary ammo or against constructs provides additional progress. Constructs includes barricades, turrets, stasis crystals, and other objects created in the field, which is pretty interesting as well. This perk description states that it partially refills the magazine, but we like to clarify that this pulls ammo from thin air, not reserves, which is really cool. Okay, so next thing we have here is attrition orbs. Dealing sustained damage creates an orb of power, which is cool, and I think they're making changes on the rate of the orbs dropping as well. Cold steel powered sword hits slow targets. Beacon rounds, which is what I'm really interested to see how that's going to work in a pulse rifle. Beacon rounds of final blows with this weapon grant your projectiles tracking. Okay, super excited to see how that's going to work in game. Dealing further damage extends the duration, which is interesting. Next up we have here Dawning Surprise origin trait. Rapidly defeating targets awards a Dawning gift, which I believe I have that on a pulse rifle from last year. Defeated powerful targets count as more than one. Okay, so it says here keep an eye out for Zephyr, the only stasis sword for now with a cold steel trait. Also note that the damage bonus from Deconstruct stacks with the Hake Breach Armaments origin trait that you can select on Albedo Wing. This is alongside the Dawning Surprise origin trait that appears on all Dawning weapons. Okay, so pretty excited stuff. If you've never taken the time to really appreciate what's happening in some of these events for Destiny, there are a lot of things that you get in the events that you won't see outside the event. So some of the weapons that you may see people use throughout the year, they probably did an event that you didn't do, and because of that, they may have some benefits and some traits that you do not have because you didn't participate in the event. So highly encourage you, if you have not done so yet and years past, to consider, the Dawning 2023. You might find some things that you really appreciate about the event and enjoy as well. So a couple of things here. We have a comfy, cozy Dawning beanie. If you're interested in that, definitely check that out. It says there's no better way to get into festive mood than by dressing the part. Okay, so what better way to celebrate the season than with a cozy and stylish Bungie Rewards Dawning beanie. Try to say that really fast. Okay, not only does this beanie come with an embroidered Dawning logo, but you also have the option to change up your style on the fly with a removable palm. Okay, starting December 12th, the Dawning beanie will be available to purchase for all players who complete the Amateur Baker Event Challenge by June 3rd, 2024. And that's another thing that I want to talk about here real quick. This season is extremely, it's a long season. Let's just put it that way, okay? So if there's a lot of things that you're trying to do within this season is like right now, I'm just going to say right now at the recording of this video, and you have until June to do a lot of the things that are taking place. So this is an extremely long season this year. So yeah, take advantage of it. Take advantage of some of the stuff that you haven't done. Check out, Fireteam Finder, see if there's anything there that you can accomplish, sooner with individuals, part of your fire team versus doing everything solo. There's a lot to be excited for this season, okay? Especially with the Dawning. Next thing that we have here is the Great Dawning Bake Off. Okay, so cool graphic there for that as well. All right, and then you have here, says this year we want to do something extra special outside of the game. Welcome to the Great Dawning Bake Off. We want Guardians everywhere to make their best desserts and share them with the community through pictures and videos, so the spirit of the Dawning reaches every corner of the world. Okay, and it says here you can go all in and make your own version of the Dawning cookies with a little help from Abuelita Eva Levante, or you can try something different. Avec tres leches cake, some tasty scones inspired by the Scorn, a gingerbread cabal, a dessert that's unique to the region you live in, as long as you take inspiration from the Dawning. A season of the Wish or Destiny 2 will love it. Blow our minds with your culinary skills. So definitely consider doing that. That is an option as well. And it says here the winners will be chosen among those who submit their entries using the Dawning Bake Off hashtag. Okay, their creations will be featured and this week in Destiny, and they'll all be awarded the Art of the Week or Movie of the Week emblem, as well as the very special Draconis Tetrachroma emblem. Don't forget to include your Bungie ID in your submission so we can find you. Okay, so a lot of cool stuff happening. So there's some launch updates here as well for, let's see here, we have the launch of the Season of the Wish. We've seen a lot of great feedback and discussion that we've shared our thoughts on. Here's some highlights on each topic. Blind Well, it says here, one of our goals is to make sure players know from the start that there's increased difficulty and new loot for this activity. Okay, so make a note of that. It's also not an activity players will have to do every week. They won't need to return to the Blind Well until week 6. Okay, we'll have one seasonal challenge tied to the Blind Well later in the season, and one heroic Blind Well completion requirement for the seal. And then it says here, Riven's Lair and the Coil. Our goal was for loot to be front and center, especially for players who go for the platinum score. As this is only week 1, just a reminder that different paths through the Coil will be rotating each week. Now, if you haven't tried that activity, that activity is extremely difficult, so you need coordination to actually do that, so be mindful of that. From my early observations, the shard economy is too unforgiving, and the team is looking to improve on this. Okay. Now, PvP updates control will be available as a selectable mode while checkmate control is active. Now, I don't know if they phased out the checkmate control because I really didn't see it. So maybe I'm not looking in the right, area of the menu, but I don't recall seeing that. But what's interesting about that is control has always been the favorite for a long time. So when you're trying to do something too different, especially with a game that's been around for the last 10 years or so, at least, right? I think it's very difficult to introduce new things. You can rotate things out and then bring them back, but I think it's sometimes tough to introduce new things, especially with a game like this, right? It says here, we have no plans to turn checkmate on across all of Crucible. Instead, we're aiming for a midway point for ability cooldowns and weapon cooldowns that doesn't result in specific weapons dominating. Okay, so we are aware of some issues with checkmate's special ammo implementation, and we're trying various new approaches to improve the system. We will be regularly tuning checkmate's TTK. Our target going forward is to keep optimal TTK consistent with the current Crucible sandbox. We will be looking to reduce body shot damage. The end result is an increase in the skill gap where consistent headshots are rewarded with faster TTK. And it also says here for PvP updates, we are aware of the spawn issues and Countdown Rush on the Citadel and Multiplex. We will be temporarily disabling these maps in competitive. So there's a note here for new rocket sidearm. The new sidearm archetype should give more opportunity to counteract barrier champions with this season's artifact. And it says here, check out the original post for Destiny 2 team's complete launch update. So then you have Fire Team updates here, Fire Team Finder updates. The auto-selected launch screen after summoning your Fire Team to orbit isn't respecting existing checkpoints, which is interesting. Our next beta will add additional options into Title Builder to help convey your lobby's response. So now I've checked out, as I mentioned earlier, I've checked out the Fire Team Finder beta. It is a pretty nice addition to what Bungie has done, and it is a welcomed addition. Okay, it is a welcome addition, so definitely check that out. I'm actually just going to scroll down here to Fire Team Finder, and it is live since we're talking about that right now. So it says, thank you for participating in a raid stress test last week, Guardians. It was a successful event as we watched teams being formed and successfully clearing raids. An impressive 42% of all participants cleared their raids, which is a pretty good percentage. That is pretty good. And you got to give them props, for that, right? It says, with new fire teams only taking 7 more minutes on average than pre-made fire teams. Okay, so definitely check that out if you haven't done that. Also, some things here by way of things that you can wear, some additional gear, right? So delve deep into Warlord's Ruin in Search of Glory, and some cool new weapons, maybe even the new exotic sidearm. And after a brief stint behind bars and a slowdown with the Soul of the Long Dead revenge-fueled Ahamkara, you've come out victorious. You deserve some rest and a vest. So definitely check that out at the Bungie store.